This is Dan Max, the trading agent. This is a stock trading and recap channel that I wanted to share to the masses. In a probability game, there's no certainty. Here are my insights and predictions.
This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the trading agent. It is Tuesday, November 23rd. Turnaround Tuesday played out. I hope everyone saw my intraday video. I dropped it at about 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and man, it was pure gold. It really ended up happening and playing out exactly as I predicted. A lot of the trend lines, the action, the turnaround Tuesday potential all happened to kind of play out. So, again, if you want to follow somebody who has a lot of experience and knows the probabilities well, again, I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be, but I definitely hit on high probability trades when I do trade. And yeah, pretty good at predicting what's going to happen. Doing this a long time. 20 years, you'd hope I know something. Anyway, let's jump into it, man. Bitcoin, what do we say? Cup and handle sloppy, green range, has to hold there. Well, you know, I've been saying it for how many days? It's held, it's there. I mean, just, what do we say, 56,000. You just have to hold that. It's really that simple. Don't overthink it. If it pulls back, we've said 53,000. Maybe back test this old downtrend. Maybe they come together, you know, somewhere in this area, 50,000. Let the market do what it's going to do. You just try to do what the market's doing. So it's really that simple. Let's jump into it. What was it? I'm trying to keep the order consistent every night so everybody can follow along easily and kind of learn where everything is. Roadblocks. If you don't take profits, the market does. What do we say? The 2 times range. That should be your zone. I honestly started taking some in the 120s because I felt like I was being greedy. I mean, we went from 70 up to 120s in a softening market. It acted pretty well for, it got to the 2 times range, but we said yesterday, outside reversal day, not bullish. Absolutely not bullish. Short term, could chop a little bit, but I don't like this setup. It seems like it needs to consolidate to knock out weak hands for a while, and when stocks do that, that's what they do. I mean, you just learn the patterns. After a big move, you chop. Or you drop. Or a drop to pop. But anyway, EXPI, EXP stock, said this blue zone. Didn't like that it broke the trend line, and so you have to expect some sort of retest. Here's the gap fill at 35 area. Could it happen? Totally possible. Just keep it in mind. I think short term, the pain is not over, but we shall see. RIVN, we said, you know, hey, we liked getting in some areas here. We stopped out. Just chopping. This is one of those momentum stocks work to catch fire. I know a ton of people were buying puts on it. Market maker will have a reversion to the mean. You can bet your ass. I'm just calling it as it is. It'll get there at some point. It'll pop. Just don't know when. It's a little hard on a post IPO with only like 10 days of experience and history. So let's jump into some other stuff. The Zadala. All right, blue zone. Drawing the lines. Real simple. If you want me to zoom out, you can see why. Here's our little W pattern, and here's the first resistance. There was resistance here in 2019, 2020, 2020. Broke it, slam. It's gonna be a spot. You know, support equals resistance. If you want to watch that video, it's on my Discord channel. I say it all the time because that's what it is. Upside is probably going to take a pause. The market has what I call muscle memory. It remembers prices, because if you got in somewhere and you were wrong, you know what your stops were. You go back and look at things. You realize where you get, you know, where you might try to get out to get even. TLT was interesting today. You know, we said we'd get a bounce. We did off the trend line. Now we closed right at the lows. I struggle with when things close like this because, let's be honest, tomorrow could totally come back in. You know, you up, down, lower, high, back down here. Sometimes you just don't know, man. And people want to act like you can always know. I don't know. I mean, it could be wide and sloppy. I mean, would I be a bear here if breaking this trend line? It seems logical. But the 200-day and old uptrend are right here at 143. I mean, do you want to short the TLT for $2? Fuck no. Pass on it. Do something else. Pay attention to it, but you don't have to trade it. The VIX. Hate saying, yeah, this is what I said was going to happen, but if you watch the videos, that's what we talk about. We're trying to hit things with probabilities. So when we do hit things, you'll know. You'll see it. W pattern, we said 20-day after it broke over. Today's candle looked like a beat down. We'll see. I don't know if the market's done dropping, but it could definitely be a turnaround Tuesday and come right back down. I mean, you saw it here in gyrations. You can see the gyrations. I mean, look at this last June, the summer. I mean, just chopped all over the 15 level. We really haven't been down. I mean, what people don't realize is the market's used to actually sustain in the upper teens. I mean, let's actually go back and look at some of this stuff. It gets pretty wild sometimes. Like, I remember these years, all upper teens, Then you had, like, just super low volatility into the 2000s when the commodities were running. But this is what's interesting. Look, and this is when I first started trading in the 20s, 1999, 20s. I mean, look at the VIX, always in the 19. I mean, the floor was 17. Now we get VIX floors in the 15s and 14s. Like, that might not sound like a lot to you, but this is a whole different ball game. I mean, 9, literally 9. 9 is a lot more different than, 17, 19, 20, 15. I mean, I don't know. I could go back in the Wayback Machine and reminisce over the past, but let's not. We'll move on. Let's just say that the VIX is still historically low. The SPY, let's go to the daily. 20-day. I mean, if you were watching at 11 a.m. this morning, we literally hit the fucking 20-day perfectly right then and bounced. Here it is, 11 a.m.-ish. We talked about watching this area. Ended up being the 20-day. Market bounced. Could it be done going up? Could be done going down. What I would not be surprised of is in a what I call digestion phase, where the market chops before it makes its next move. If that's the case, hey, let's just play it as is. Needs to hold this trend line in yellow. Needs to get over this trend line for me to really feel like it's going to break higher. Qs, acting a little weaker. Talked about that with interest rates in many videos. Said it got up into this pennant, but the same thing, held the 20-day. If you zoom on the 10 minutes, you can see around, what is this? Here's the 11 o'clock candle. Sorry, 11:30. I mean, my video was going into probably the 11:30 mark. It was a 20-minute video, but yeah, you got to watch the bottom live. Real simple. Up above this, going higher. Below the 20-day, going lower. I mean, it's in between. You're just kind of gambling. Wait for the volume, wait for the action, and hit it hard. Gold, this was pretty awesome. We said at 11 o'clock, watch this downtrend, or this uptrend. Watch the pink line as old support. And, I really, here's the W pattern. We have, looks like, head and shoulders within a head and shoulders. And it's just one of those, oh man, don't mess with the trend lines. Got so much, I apologize, it is pretty murky. I did like this. We said yesterday below the 20-day, not good for gold. Like that. See, when you hold high and tight and then you gap down big, you're definitely going to go lower. So we didn't touch it Monday. And guess what? Turnaround Tuesday. I mean, you're going to hear that on a lot of Tuesdays, depending on the action. But that is a real thing. That is not new. If someone tries to claim it, well, then you're just taking someone's old stuff, because I've been saying that for years, and that's just... If you're in the markets, you know that. You're in finance, you know what Turnaround Tuesday is. So it just is what it is. Got to hold this trend line. If you bought it today down in the, under 167, golf clap. You have a tight stop. Your trade is pretty binary. If it goes up, you're good. Breaks, you're done. That's where you want to be. When you trade up here, you're a little more, you have to have a bigger a bigger stop to know when you're right or wrong. I like picking spots that are pretty binary. If I'm wrong, it's toast, and if I'm right, it goes higher, kind of thing, especially for a bull. Reverse for similar circumstances, but yeah, killed it. Perfect. Let's get into another one we called the bottom on today, and repeating patterns. Said anywhere near the 100-day, and then look, we hit the trend line. Oh, the thing of beauty. Kissed it. So low 32s, mid 32s, I feel pretty confident about it. Just have a stop. Again, tight stops. These are what's great about having a plan, buying low, and just knowing where you're at. Because if you're buying up here, it could get pretty ugly. So I don't chase. I mean, you hear me say that over and over. I don't chase. I don't chase. Because things come back. And if they don't, it is what it is. This one's getting a little interesting. Let's, I was watching this price action today and retesting these zones. Again, you can play it pretty binary. You say 12, you buy it in low 12s. If it breaks or it holds, it probably goes back up to this 200-day. I know maybe, this is a megaphone pattern where you have the widening upside and widening downside. Just keep in mind, if it gets down in the 12 area, it probably is a screaming buy with a tight stop. And that's great, because if you're wrong, good. And if you're right, you make a ton of money. Lose 10 cents to make $3. Odds 70-80%. I mean, take that every single time. KL still in the W pattern, zooming in. This blue area, I could see it hitting the 200-day. It hit it down here and held perfectly. That's what I'd be watching for. I mean, I like this blue zone. I didn't play it today. It did doji. I do like dojis after, bigger moves. So, keep it easy. Apologize if I'm sniffling. I had some ice cream and you can tell it's affecting my sinuses. Silver. Hello. Another one we called the bottom end today. We said, hey, if you're watching the mid 12s, it's a gift from the God. I said mid 12s. I didn't say an exact price. And people are like, oh, you didn't say. I'm like, look, the gap down, you just sometimes take that. And then when it retested here at around 11, this is where I was talking about. I was like, someone's buying. Somebody's buying. Please be Elon. Elon, put the freaking paper silver trade up JP Morgan's butt. End this manipulation. It's so ridiculous. Yeah, I like it. Keep it simple. Your entry is your stop now, or your stop is 20 cents below your entry, whatever you want to call it. Keep it real simple. I mean, it needs to hold, so doesn't hold, you don't hold. Keep it simple. I like that. If it doesn't hold, you don't hold either. If the stock doesn't hold, you shouldn't be either. Yeah, anyway, X doing a W, US Steel. Pulling back into the moving averages. I don't really see anything wrong. I mean, I do see something for a trade, though, if you wanted to really get into it. You could say any close above. It's probably better. Hold on. I know people are like, oh, you draw with a wick. Sometimes you don't. And it's like, whatever looks the best. Like, it can never close above this. That's where I want to draw that. So if it breaks above that and yet today's high, you should go for higher highs. That's just how it is. Really simple. Good old AMD. What did Dan say? If you hit the red trend line, you better start taking profits or the market's going to take them. Yesterday's action, we talked about it. Could look over it. Wham. Doji today. Again, I mean, I don't know if AMD is going to fall out of bed yet. The volume doesn't say so. What it actually says is you're at an equilibrium where the hype of the buyers is equal to the people who wanting to sell. I could see it coming back to the 20-day. Again, if you've owned this and made a ton of money, you should have been locking in profits, because now if you want to buy dips and you expect some chop, you can play it out. You can wait. Again, I have no fundamental complaints with AMD. I think they're doing well, but guess what? Even stocks, I mean, I remember when Apple was hitting on all cylinder and it would pull back 30, 35%. And people were like, I guess Apple's done. And it's like, no, they're hitting on all cylinders, but in an uptrend, that's normal. I mean, when Apple was the most popular company in the world, it was nuts. I mean, it would pull back and be like, oh, it's the end of the world. Let's roll on to Apple, by the way. And this is another winning trade we talked about. You break this downtrend. You invalidated the head and shoulders. I said yesterday that candle, I did not like it. I said, what? Chop. I said, worst case chop. I think we get to the upper channel at some point, 169, 170 range. Might be happening before the end of the year. However, caveat that, if you got in and you had 4 straight days, again, now 4 straight days. So this is like the 3, Maribosas and the freaking hammer, whatever you want to call it. I mean, there's so many fucking terms for candle formations and whatnot. Looks a little bearish. Worst case scenario, it's going to chop. So we'll see. I mean, just keep an eye on the Qs. I mean, keep an eye on Apple too, because it's the biggest position in the Qs, you know. So they kind of move with each other. So if people are selling the Qs, Apple gets hit. Just keep it that simple. MicroStrategy, man, what a disappointment. Like, I really thought up here you would chop and then go higher. I was wrong. Being wrong happens. If you don't think you can be wrong, you shouldn't be trading. You can see what was going on here and why I thought this area would hold. I didn't have it drawn on this computer. People know, you know, I've got a different computer I trade on. This is just for recording. But yeah. Once we broke this area, the moving averages become in play. I mean, Bitcoin's down, MicroStrategy's down. If Bitcoin holds that 56,000 level, and again, here we have a doji. This could be it. I mean, it literally could be all she wrote, because it looks like Bitcoin's holding 56,000. This becomes a trade then. I mean, 700 areas. I mean, buy a smaller amount of shares. I mean, if you made 100 points on 10 shares, $1,000. I mean, again, I don't know what your account size is, but $1,000 is $1,000. You know, I'll take it if you don't want it. Tesla. Now this is funny. Oh man, we closed right at the 20-day, and I keep saying, like, watch the 20-day. If it breaks it, it fails. Every time it just holds on for dear life, and it's like the market knows that the 20 is important. Well, if the market knows 20 days is important, why do you think I keep talking about it? Come on, you know, like, this is the kind of shit you learn from watching the markets forever. 20 days support. You break it, get out. But again, I mean, I hate to rehash and beat a dead horse, but if you watch the VPA rules, what is the rule? You know, the straight line move usually precedes the end in the top. Just like at a bottom, you have this big drop. This is the big run up and chop at worst. I'm not saying Tesla bull market's over, the stock's never going higher. I just look at it as the probabilities of it going higher in the short term just don't seem that high. It just seems like it could be waterlogged. What if it holds between 1,000 and 1,200 while the market goes higher? You're going to be like, oh, I wish I'd have owned some other stocks. Real simple. Dang, oh man, ice cream really congests me as I get older. PENN. This one is just a total biatch. I mean, it's just holding on for dear life in the 51 areas. And I've expanded my stops. I mean, I've got in here, and then I got in here, and it popped. And I like the risk reward. This is here, and here we go. Big down, chop, chop, big down. I think we bounce, and if we don't, I'm gone. But keep in mind, this thing was at 140s. It's at $51. That is a monster haircut for a company that was once higher. So it's due for a bounce. I'm planning to bounce. I don't know if it'll ever get back to the 140s. Stocks can peak. You know, this isn't one of those companies that has some sort of insane advantage over the rest of the market like Tesla. Like, it probably bounced, and then who knows? Just don't believe in anything but your stops. Those are what you have to have faith in. XOP, nice work. Releasing out the SPR, Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Wow, it bounced right back. You know, we said the 50-day was interesting. I said yesterday's candles, these 2-day ranges, didn't really give you much to play with because you have to wait. Well, today we opened at the 50-day and closed near the highs. If that ain't bullish, then, or bouncy, whatever, then I don't know what it is. That's literally a definition of taking a reversion to the mean, breaking the trend. Hey, VALE. Hey, Scott, look with that. I know it's kind of an ugly little doji today, but we're over the 20-day. We closed over 20. Shh. Your VALE has bottomed. We can draw on some of these fibs now, play us. Oh, I thought it bottomed there. Or actually, that was what we hoped, but we have not updated. Oh boy. I see some things. This is what's funny sometimes, how the fibs line up with stuff. Oh gosh. Anyway, yep. We'll get to it when the time is right. We will talk. But at this point, if you were buying in the 11s on VALE, you are taking that dollar, which is almost a 10% gain in 3 or 4 days. Golf clap. Nice work. That's the kind of shit we try to find. Even in down markets, there's stuff going up. Good old Pan American Silver Corporation, 50-day hold, nice little pullback. It's, just rounding around. I mean, wave theory people will try to measure it perfectly, and oh god, I hate wave theory. It's so stupid. It's so old and played out. I mean, it was cool in the 90s. But, I mean, that's reversion to the mean, wave theory. I mean, you try to just use the fibs and the moving averages and just don't assume you can pick the bottoms and lows. Wave theory just adds a whole nother layer of complexity that is not necessary. PAAS, 50-day. Hold it. That's what it is. Not pass as in pass out, but that's the company name. Hold the 50-day. We look good. Good to go. Let's end it where we always end it. ExxonMobil, the Tesla of oil, which is always funny to say. Yeah, 2-day range. Talked about this yesterday. Nice gap up and close at the highs. I'm not really too bullish on it in the long term because this is a big basing pattern. Unless, hear me out though, if we break over these downtrends in the 67 area, then what I would consider is all this congestion leading to higher prices. And here you go. If you want me to draw you a little megaphone pattern. Let's connect more of the bottoms. That's just, yeah, there's your megaphone, a widening, higher highs, lower lows. All right, well, man, check out the Discord board. This channel, as I keep telling people, if you're ever listening this far, I will be predicting we're going to have a lot of followers in time. This information is cash. It's legit. I try to help, want to help, but people need to help themselves and learn. This is where you can get some valuable information. Drop a comment, stop in the Discord room. Education, just like in anything, you have to put the time in. I can't tell you how to do it. Teach a man to fish is better than just giving you the fish. I can give you some of these trades, but there's going to be times where I'm not around or I'm out skiing, out fishing, doing something, and the market's open, and you got a trade, and you're not sure what to do, and if you're attached to my hip for every answer, then you're going to sink or swim based on my beliefs versus yours. So my goal is to give you the ammunition and the knowledge to just be able to have your own gunfights and figure out how to get through the war, because that's what trading is. So Dan Max, EXP Realty, aka the trading agent, signing out. Love you guys. Peace.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like the content. Also smash the like button, share with your friends, and add a comment. If there's a topic or stock you'd like me to give you insight about, let me know in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer your question. Thanks.